Hello students. Okay, in this video we learn regarding which one vapor pressure. So what is vapor pressure? Let us see here. First, the process of conversion of liquid to gas is called evaporation, and the process of conversion of gas to liquid is known as condensation. Next, the amount of liquid that is evaporated in unit time is known as rate of evaporation. The amount of liquid that is evaporated in unit time is known as what? Rate of evaporation, or we can call it as rate of vaporization. So that rate of evaporation means what here? The amount of liquid that evaporated in unit time. Similarly, the amount of vapor that is liquefied in unit time is known as rate of condensation. Now here, rate of evaporation depends on which one? First, nature of liquid. So one example here, ether is having more rate of evaporation than water, because in ether weak van der Waal attractions are present, but in water strong hydrogen bonds are present. So like that here, ether rate of evaporation greater than that of water. And second factor is here temperature. As temperature increases, rate of evaporation also increases, because average kinetic energy of liquid molecules increases. So rate of evaporation also increases. And then surface area. As surface area increases, rate of evaporation also increases, because as surface area increases, more number of molecules, liquid molecules present on the surface. So like that, as surface area increases, rate of evaporation also increases. And due to that sudden rate of, that means due to that sudden evaporation, or due to the evaporation of any liquid, it will become cool. Why? Because the average kinetic energy of the molecules rest over decreases. That's why only rapid evaporation causes cooling of the liquid. So for this reason only, the hot liquid cools easily in a saucer than in a cup, because saucer has more surface area. And like that only, the water in which one here, if you take a pot, that means in that pot, not in steel pot. Okay, like that, if you consider a pot, that what is, it is having somewhat porous structure. So that's why only the water present in that pot will become cool. But in a steel pot, if you take, that may not become cool, because that steel pot is not having, that steel vessel is not having any pores structure. So mud pot is having pores structure. So that's why only the water present in a mud pot cools easily, but not in that steel pot or steel vessel. So this is regarding which one? That surface area. So like that here, rate of evaporation depends on nature of the liquid and temperature, surface area, Okay, after that, let us see what is vapor pressure here. So what is the definition of vapor pressure? The pressure exerted by the vapor molecules on a liquid surface at equilibrium is known as vapor pressure. See here, first liquid molecules convert into which one? Vapor state. The amount of liquid converted into vapor in unit time is known as rate of vaporization or rate of evaporation. And if you close with any one plate, what happens here? The vapor molecules again convert into liquid state. The amount of vapor that converted into liquid state in unit time is known as rate of condensation. The state at which both rates of evaporation and condensation become equal, that state is said to be equilibrium state. At this equilibrium state, the pressure exerted by the vapor molecules on liquid surface is known as vapor pressure. So the pressure exerted by the vapor molecules on liquid surface at equilibrium state is known as vapor pressure. Now, vapor pressure depends on which factors? Let us see here. The first one again, what is here? Nature of liquid. So if you consider here, which one? Water and ammonia. Vapor pressure of water is less than that of ammonia because there are strong hydrogen bonds present in water. So that's why only vapor pressure of water is less than that of ammonia. So like that, vapor pressure depends on nature of the liquid. And the second one here, temperature. Vapor pressure is directly proportional to the temperature. As temperature increases, vapor pressure increases exponentially because again that average kinetic energy of liquid molecules increases, more number of vapors are formed, so vapor pressure also more. So like that here, vapor pressure is directly proportional to which one? Temperature. And we can write Clausius-Clapeyron equation, which will give relation between vapor pressure of a liquid and its temperature. So what is that equation here? Log P2 by P1. Let it be the P2 pressure at T2 temperature. P1 is the pressure at T1 temperature. So log P2 by P1 equals to delta H vaporization by 2.303 into R 1 by T1 minus 1 by T2. So this is the Clausius-Clapeyron equation. Clausius-Clapeyron equation that gives relation between which one and which one? Pressure and temperature. So like that here, the vapor pressure depends on temperature, but vapor pressure is independent on surface area. This is you have to note down as important one. Vapor pressure is independent on surface area, but rate of that or evaporation or evaporation is directly proportional to surface area, but vapor pressure is independent, means that does not depend on which one? Means that surface area. Okay, then one more important thing here. What is that means? Aqueous tension. What is the meaning of aqueous tension? The vapor pressure of water, that is known as at 100 degrees centigrade, of course it is 760 mm of mercury. The vapor pressure of pure water is known as aqueous tension. So this is regarding vapor pressure and the factors on which vapor pressure will depends. Okay, then after that let us go for which one, another factor here. Vapor pressure also depends on purity of the liquid. Vapor pressure also depends on which one? Purity of the liquid. That means if you consider any impure liquid, that means if the water is added with somewhat salt or sugar, anything, if any some other solute particles are added to the liquid, its vapor pressure decreases. What happens means its vapor pressure decreases. So like that here, vapor pressure depends on which one? Purity. Okay, let us see what is the effect of impurities on vapor pressure. So now here our next topic is vapor pressure of a liquid containing some solutes. Of course, solutes are of again two types, volatile and non-volatile solutes. For example, if we consider glucose, urea, sucrose, these are considered as non-volatile substances. That means they do not convert into vapor state. So the substance which does not convert into vapor state, that substance is known as non-volatile, that not easily converts. Of course, at high temperature it will converts. That is known as which one? Non-volatile substance. So when a non-volatile solute is added to solvent, what happens? It's vapor pressure. That is our next topic. Okay, then we have to consider one solution containing non-volatile solute. First, let us take pure solvent. Let it be the pure solvent, means solute particles not yet added. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 liquid, that means 5 solvent, pure solvent molecules present on the surface. So we can expect 5 number of vapor molecules. Let us assume each vapor molecule exerting 1 atmosphere pressure. Now this P naught value is 5 atmosphere. So what is P naught here? Vapor pressure of which one? Pure solvent. Vapor pressure of pure solvent is how much here? 5 atmosphere. Now if a solute is added, to this pure solvent, what happens? Some of the solute particles replaces the solvent molecules and occupy their position. So now solute plus solvent, it will become which one? Means solution. But here among the 5 solvent molecules, let us consider 2 solvent molecules are replaced with which one? Means non-volatile solute molecules. Now on the surface area, on that surface only 3 pure solvent molecules are there. These 2 are non-volatile solute molecules. That means now among the 5, the pure solvent molecules only evaporate. So here the vapor pressure, now how much we can expect here? As 3 vapor molecules only there, now the total pressure we are expecting how much? Means 3 atmosphere. So what happened here? By adding a non-volatile solute, what happened here? Vapor pressure of that liquid decreased. So that means here always P is less than P naught. P means, let us take it as vapor pressure of solution. P naught is vapor pressure of which one? Means pure solvent. So like that here Due to the addition of non-volatile solute molecules, what happened here? Vapor pressure of the liquid decreases. So like that here, vapor pressure depends on purity of the liquid. Now here, the difference between vapor pressure of pure solvent and solution vapor pressure is known as lowering of vapor pressure. That is known as which one? Lowering of vapor pressure. Now here P naught means vapor pressure of pure solvent and P is the vapor pressure of solution. That difference between P naught and P is known as lowering of vapor pressure. Then after that, this lowering of vapor pressure directly proportional to mole fraction of solute. That is directly proportional to mole fraction of solute, because as the more number of non-volatile solute molecules are added, vapor pressure also decreases that much extent. As the number of non-volatile solute molecules increases, the vapor pressure decreases that much. So like that, lowering of vapor pressure is directly proportional to which one? Mole fraction of solute. And here now that ratio between lowering of vapor pressure to pure solvent vapor pressure is known as RLVP. What is that RLVP? Relative lowering of vapor pressure. Okay, once you see that equations. Okay, this is regarding which one? Vapor pressure and lowering of vapor pressure, relative lowering of vapor pressure. So like that here, relative lowering of vapor pressure means what? The ratio between lowering of vapor pressure to pure solvent vapor pressure is known as relative lowering of vapor pressure. That depends, that means that directly proportional to which one? Means that mole fraction of solute. So now after that, let us see what is boiling point. So what is the boiling point concept? Let us concentrate here. See here, what is the meaning of boiling point? Very simple it is. The temperature at which vapor pressure of a liquid equals to atmospheric pressure. The temperature at which vapor pressure of a liquid equals to atmospheric pressure is known as a boiling point. So like that here, if you consider water at sea level atmospheric pressure is 1 atmosphere. When water is boiled to 100 degrees centigrade, the vapor pressure exerted by the water vapor is equals to 1 atmosphere. So at sea level, boiling point of water is how much? Means 100 degrees centigrade. But if you consider ethyl alcohol, when we started heating, the vapor pressure of ethyl alcohol equals to 1 atmosphere at sea level at what temperature? Means 78.1 degree centigrade. That means by reaching 78.1 degree centigrade, the vapor pressure of ethyl alcohol equals to 1 atmosphere at sea level. So now the boiling point of ethyl alcohol is how much? Means 78.1. So now here, what factors will affect the boiling point? Same here, boiling point again depends indirectly on which one? That vapor pressure. So like that here, boiling point also depends on nature of the liquid, like vapor pressure depends. So boiling point depends on nature of the liquid. If you consider water, it is having strong intermolecular hydrogen bonds. So its boiling point is how much? Means 100 degrees centigrade. But if you consider ether, that is not having such type of hydrogen bonds, due to weak van der Waal attractions, it has the less boiling point. So like that, boiling point depends on which one means nature of the which one liquid, and after that depends on atmospheric pressure also. That means what here? If atmospheric pressure is more, that boiling point also more. If atmospheric pressure is less, boiling point also less. Now, as we are moving to higher altitudes, what happens? Atmospheric pressure decreases. At sea level, atmospheric pressure is 1 atmosphere. At sea level, atmospheric pressure is how much means 1 atmosphere. But as we are going to higher altitudes, what happens? Atmospheric pressure decreases. So that's why only at higher altitudes water boils easily. Before reaching to 100 degrees centigrade only, the total water present in a vessel is evaporates, totally boils out. Because as we are going to higher altitudes, boiling point decreases due to the decrease in external atmospheric pressure. And also, if you consider a pressure cooker, in the name we come to know that in the pressure cooker, inside the pressure cooker, more pressure is there. That means comparatively sea level, inside the pressure cooker, atmospheric pressure is greater than 1 atmosphere. That means let us consider in a pressure cooker, atmospheric pressure is 1.2 atmosphere. That means what happens here? At 100 degrees centigrade, water doesn't boil. Because at 100 degrees centigrade, water vapor pressure is equal to 1 atmosphere only. But inside the pressure cooker, the atmospheric pressure is 1.2 atmosphere. That means at more than 100 degrees centigrade, let us take 120 degrees centigrade just for example. So water boils at 120 degrees centigrade in the pressure cooker. That's why only cooking process become easily in a pressure cooker. So like that here, boiling point depends on atmospheric pressure also. And boiling point depends on purity of the liquid also. That means if a non-volatile solute is added, its boiling point increases. So now here, let us take one graph here. Let it be the pressure and let it be the temperature. Now here, let it be the 1 atmosphere. Now here, this is A and this is B. Now here, T naught B greater than T naught A. That means here boiling point of B greater than boiling point of A, because vapor pressure of B is less than that of vapor pressure of A. So that's why only as vapor pressure decreases, boiling point increases. So if we add a non-volatile solute, we know that if we add a non-volatile solute to pure liquid, its vapor pressure decreases. If vapor pressure decreases, what happens here? Its boiling point increases. So that is known as elevation in boiling point. That is known as what? Elevation in boiling point. So now this is regarding which one here? Boiling point. And last one is there, freezing point also. Let us discuss here. So what is the meaning of a freezing point? Freezing point means here the temperature at which vapor pressure of a liquid in vapor pressure of a liquid in solvent is equal to vapor pressure of a vapor pressure of a solvent in solid state. I repeat again here, the temperature at which vapor pressure of a solvent in liquid state is equal to vapor pressure of solvent in solid state. That temperature is known as freezing point. Now, the freezing point also depends on which one, purity of the liquid. As non-volatile solute particles are added, what happens? Freezing point decreases. Now let us take here what is that? T naught F of A, T naught F of A is less than T naught F of which one? B. That means here freezing point of A is less than that freezing point of B, because here the vapor pressure of A is less than that of vapor pressure of B. So like that, the temperature at which vapor pressure of a solvent in liquid state is equal to vapor pressure of a solvent in solid state is known as freezing point. Now here, when a non-volatile solute is added, freezing point decreases. That means pure water freezes at 0 degree centigrade, but if a salt is added to water, its freezing point is less than 0 degree centigrade. So this is called lowering in freezing point. This is called which one? Lowering in freezing point. So these are the factors affecting that vapor pressure, boiling point and freezing point. Okay, in our next video we go for Raoult's law and its applications, problems related to Raoult's law. Okay, bye.